We'll be using Oracle Database 10G Express Edition for all our demos. What you can see on the screen is Oracle Database homepage and the various options available. So let's first go to Object Browser. Here I have already created a few tables. So let's examine customers table from those tables. So let me click this customers table. Then you can see the structure of this customers table here. So this customers table have various columns, say cust underscore ID, cust underscore name, cust underscore type, etc. And then I have also created some test data. So let me click data here. Now you can see there are 4 customer records already inserted in this customers table. We will be using this data to check the output of our select statements, which soon we are going to learn. Now with this customers table and the test data, let's go and write some select statements to understand how simple select statements are written. Now let's go to home page again and click SQL option and then click SQL commands. Now what you can see is an interactive tool. Now in this tool I can write SQL statements, and then if I click run, immediately I will be able to see the results of that SQL statement. So let's write our first SQL select statement. Now in this first statement we want to select all the rows from a table. And which table we want to select? We want to select from table customers. So let's write our SQL statement. So it should start with select and then let's use star. So star will select all columns in the table customers from table name customers. So we have select clause, then space, then star, which indicates that we want to see all columns, then from clause, and after from we have to mention one or more tables from which we want to retrieve data. So here we are going to retrieve only from one table, which is customers. So I have mentioned just customers here. So our first select statement is select star from customers. So let me click run and let's see what it is displaying. There we go. Now you can see in the results pane all 4 records which are there in the customers table are displayed here, and also you can see every record has all columns which we have defined in this table. So cust underscore ID, cust underscore name, cust underscore type, etc. all columns are getting displayed. So if you want to select all rows from a table, and also if you want to see all columns from individual rows, then you have to use select star from customers. So this is your first select statement. Now suppose you want to select individual columns instead of having star. So here we can mention one or more columns here. So instead of star, let's mention the columns which we want to see in the result set. So let's say we want to see the cust underscore ID and then cust underscore name. So whatever columns which I am interested in the result, I can specify here, select, then the one or more column names which I am interested in. And then remaining part of the query is same from customers. Now let me click run and see whether we are able to get only customer ID and customer name. There we go. Now you can see in the result, you can get only cust underscore ID and cust underscore name. So this is how you can restrict the columns in rows which your select statement is going to return. Now here you can notice one thing is, if I am selecting from a column cust underscore ID, then the heading of the column is same here in the result set, cust underscore ID. Similarly here I am selecting column name cust underscore name, and then here also the column heading is cust underscore name. Now suppose if I want to change the column heading to something different, so I don't want to use the column name as column heading, then you can use analyze. So cust underscore ID as, and then you can specify the name of the column. Let's say I want to use CID, and then instead of cust underscore name, I can again use as, and then let's say I want to use only name here. So I have used aliases for the column. Now let me run it and see what is the output. There we go. Now you can see here the column headings have changed as we have specified here. So cust underscore ID is shown as CID, and then cust underscore name is shown as name. So this is how you can select individual columns, and also you can give aliases to those columns. Now let me show you one more query. Now here you can see I have used select star from customers, and it has shown all the records. So now let me just select cust underscore type, so customer type, and let me run it. And now you can see we can see only cust underscore type in the result set. But now you will be able to notice here that the values in these rows are getting repeated. Now suppose if you are interested in knowing only distinct values in these rows, so then you can use distinct clause. So you can say select distinct cust type from customers. So let me run it, and let's see what it is showing. There we go. Now you can see only distinct customer types are shown in the results pane. So this is how you can use distinct clause to select unique values for the column which you are specifying in the select clause. So these are the simple examples of select. So let me again quickly revise. So select statement starts with a select clause. Then you have to write one or more column names which you want to appear in the result set. Then you have to specify from clause, and after from you have to specify a table name from which you want to select values. Now with these simple examples of select statement, now let's go back to our